is a very interesting person. I feel that that she actually does a lot of different things. She's actually an inspirational woman when it comes down to it, because she interviews like a bunch of people from all around the world, and she gets their input and reenacts it so that her audience can actually see other people's inputs and opinions, and it actually makes them more aware of social issues. Her ability to actually act out like a bunch of different personalities, like going from like a southern accent to, I don't know, another character that she does like a 360, which is really cool. Acting out the other people's personalities and opinions like draws her audience into her play, and it kind of sparks a response from each person who is seeing her play. Her plays might be controversial because even though she is interviewing like a bunch of people that she just met, it's kind of broad in a sense, because she kind of picks and chooses which one to reenact. Do you get what I mean? So in a sense, it's a little bit biased based on who she's seeing and who she's interviewed. So it's not really like the big spectrum of everyone's opinion. She kind of picks and chooses a couple or whoever she thinks she can reenact the best. I think it's a pretty interesting way for her to use this in her what's that theater called again? Documentary theater. And it makes people like aware of other people's opinions, and sometimes it's kind of in the back of your head, but when you hear someone say it out loud and you actually hear it and it's like running through your brain, it kind of hits home, and it makes you think about the social issues that's going on, and it actually makes it so that you have a response about what's going on, and you actually don't expect a response originally, but it just somehow happens. I think she plays on the part of that theatricality, and it kind of just draws you in. It was interesting that like she did like the plays all by herself. I think that it was interesting in like how that would like work when you're watching it. People are saying that she kind of created a new form of theater because like she combined journalism and interviews and interprets that through performance. Some people might not approve of her work, I think, because I think it's like they might not approve of the topics. You know, like the LA riots, for example. They might not approve of what everybody has to say. But people are like learning about real stuff, and it's not like made up, so it's true things that people are actually learning. The first impression I got from her was that she was a really hard worker, and she admits to having not much time in her personal life. She's always working and doing stuff, so that was my first impression of her, that she's very dedicated to her work. She says that she dreams more often than most people, and there is a time in her dream, there was a time when she watched a man struggle to become conscious because he had what was it? Oh yeah, an incision in his head, and she was in the hospital and the guy was sitting on the ground cross-legged, and she watched him struggle to come into consciousness, knowing that he had gone through something horrible. And she said that she takes her dreams and she turns that and she uses that into motivation to become creative, and that's how she comes up with her plays. I read about how hardworking she was, and I thought that she really didn't have any failures, but I figured out that when she graduated from Pennsylvania's Beaver College, she went to get her master's at the American Conservative Theater, And after that, she went to New York City, and I thought she would kind of automatically just get a job from there. But an agent there shot her down and said that I can't send you out because I don't want you to antagonize my clients because you don't look like anything. So I was kind of shocked that she got shot down at her first attempts, but she continued on, obviously. She mentions racism in one of her interviews, and it talks about how racism has been a horrible, tragic trash, and we all have been heavily sedated by it. So I think people who are victims of it and take part in it can really learn from all of her work with how she uses that in her performances.
I thought Smith's work was very interesting. Like, I've heard of one woman shows before, and my impression of them was completely different of how she did it, because I thought it was someone telling a story, but it was really innovative and really powerful and moving the way she did it, and her approach, like her premise that she had to impersonate them, like she's basically doing impressions and she's trying to be them on stage, and it's pretty like impressive in my opinion, and it's great how she puts so much time and energy into it, and she's really great and has a really creative mind. She's a playwright, but she doesn't have other people write plays. She interviews people and she extracts the information she got from the interviews, and she basically recites them and like reenacts them. She talks like them and acts like them, and she dresses like them, just to be exactly who they are, and she wants the true nature of the conversation that she had during the interviews. I think for her to be so true to the nature of the person, like she will even do it, like apparently some people don't appreciate how controversial her subjects were sometimes, and also like, I guess like a specific example would be like, people didn't really take a liking to her using the C word. This is definitely theatricality to the max. You know, she's basically interviewing people and putting those people on stage and is speaking as if she was them, and she is basically making the audience feel what she did when she was originally interviewing them.
I like that she tackles the racial tension in our society, because as someone who is also mixed, I am able to sense racial tension even when things are calm. So I like that she explores the different issues and how it fluctuates, and how people feel about it. And she's not just targeting one group, she's targeting many groups and trying to get much feedback and many different pieces of the puzzle that she possibly can. Oh my god, Anna I found just all the way interesting, just completely interesting, because I am from Northern California, and I was super stoked to hear that she went to ACT, and I like that she is able to find out that she learned about another way of approaching acting, that you assemble and reassemble personalities. And then she had a conversation with someone who is a linguist, and she was stuck on how actors should get into the language and the speech traits and the facial gestures and the different things about our language that make us us. I was really struck by that. What I found really interesting is that she approaches characters in a journalistic way, and I think that is out of the norm and really interesting.